How long does a medical malpractice lawsuit take in the state of New York? Would you like to learn the answer? Come join me, I'll share it with you. Hi, I'm Gerry Oginski. I'm a New York medical malpractice and personal injury trial lawyer practicing law here in the state of New York. The short answer is it's going to take a while. The longer answer is it could take anywhere from 2 to 3 years, and let me explain why. After we do a thorough investigation and determine that there's a valid basis for a case, we have to do a number of things. First, we have to start the lawsuit by creating a set of documents known as a summons and complaint. We take those documents and then have to file it with the court. That's the trigger that actually begins your lawsuit. At that point, once we've filed those documents, we now have to take those papers and deliver them to the people that you are suing. After that, the attorneys who represent the people that you are suing will have an opportunity to respond to those lawsuit allegations. Now, what happens then? Once we've received the answers to the allegations in the complaint from the attorneys who represent the people you are suing, now we actually have to notify the court that we've received those documents. And then we file a document known as a Notice of Medical Malpractice Action. And what that does is it lets the court know all the attorneys are present. Now, what happens then? Well, shortly after that, within probably the next month or two, we'll get notified for the attorneys to come into court to set up a scheduling conference. And during that time, the court gives us a definite schedule, a timeline, by which they want this case to proceed forward. Now, depending upon how complex or difficult the case is or how many parties are there in the lawsuit, they have different time tracks as to how long they expect the case will take. Every few months, the attorneys will have to return back to court to update and give the judge a status update on the progress of how the case is progressing. Because if there are issues that are occurring that are preventing the case from moving forward, the judge will want to know why, what's holding it up, and what can he or she do in order to make those things go away and move the case forward. There has to be an exchange of documents that's known as discovery. And there has to be something known as depositions, which are question and answer sessions that take place in the attorney's office. After all the discovery is finished, after all the depositions are finished, well, then we have to notify the court that we are technically ready for trial. Although we may be technically ready for trial, we basically go to the bottom of the pile and now have to wait for the entire court backlog to be resolved, and that could be many, many months. And by the time we reach to the top, now we get called in for a pretrial conference, and now we begin the negotiation phase to determine whether or not the defense is willing to negotiate. And if not, the judge will then give us a trial date. And that could be months later. So ultimately, at the end of the day, you want to know the question, how long is the medical malpractice case going to take in the state of New York? Well, the answer really can range anywhere from 2 to 3 years. Now, even after you get a verdict, it's still possible that the time can go on even beyond that. Why is that? Because there are things known as post-trial motions. And you can also have an appeal. So why do I share this information with you? I share it with you just to give you an insight and an understanding into what goes on in the litigation process here in the state of New York. Chances are you have questions or concerns about your own particular matter, and if it happened here in New York and you'd like to learn more about what you can do, well, then I encourage you to pick up the phone and call me. I answer legal questions like yours every single day. You can reach me at 516-487-8207 or by email at lawmed10@yahoo.com. I'm Gerry Oginski here in New York. Thanks for watching.